Deep greetings from our beautiful campus, and I would love to talk about our research and inform you about your rights and about the procedures. So before we start, we dive into consent form. I would love us to get kind of grounded and be more mindful with the consent form because it is important. So if you love to get more grounded or more mindful with taking some deep breaths, please take some deep breaths. We can take deep breaths through our nose. Hold for a few seconds and then slowly exhaling through our mouth. And then again, inhaling through our nose. Holding for a few seconds and then. Okay, if you get more grounded through deep breath exercise, you can do that. And if you get more grounded through looking at nature, let me take you for a short, very brief tour of our campus. And then if you feel more grounded through getting some water, you can do like me, get some time and to get your water with you, and then we can dive into the research. Okay, I do really appreciate your time, and let me share my screen. Okay, and let me check if it is the correct version. Okay. Participant information sheet, consent form. You may choose to understand this section on the consent form through A, watching the video, B, listening to the audio, and or C, reading the following paragraphs. If you do not want detailed information about your rights or are already familiar with the research consent form for participating in this research, you can simply skip this first section and then move to the second section. We believe providing you with your rights is meaningful and worth time. We prefer to use we language to be more inclusive for all of us as one human tribe with all our diversity in all aspects. And we made the background of this consent form as light green to make your and also our eyes more relaxed. We hope it helps, and if you feel disturbed by the color, you may just listen to it or read it from the research panel, or you can download it and just change the background color. And this is a trace from where I'm taking the video. You are being invited to take part in this research to facilitate general public researchers, educators, and key people in charge of institutions to understand what have been the most important facilitators and barriers for during the COVID-19 process for you and or your community. Please take the time to read the following information carefully and discuss it with the researcher or others if you wish. And I would say, please take time to read and understand mindfully. Please ask if there is anything that is not clear or if you would like more information. Take time to decide whether or not you wish to take part. Thank you for taking the time to read this. If you have any questions or concerns about taking part in the research, or if you want to be part of this research, please contact Ahmet Tanhan, which is myself, through my email, tanhanahmet3@gmail.com. What is the purpose of the research? There are two main purposes for this research. One, understanding the most important biopsychosocial, spiritual, economic, and any other related facilitators, support, and barriers, considering your COVID-19 profession, work, process, or experience from participants' own unique perspective utilizing online photo voice, which means OPV. And second, advocating with the volunteer participants and partners to convey the results in all possible ways, especially through online avenues due to the pandemic process, to the key people and institutions in order to enhance the facilitators and address the barriers in order to contribute for a more livable world for all. For further information on OPV participation, procedure, analysis, and advocacy process, you can watch the video, listen to the audio or read the written detailed documents. They are all the same thing, providing information about OPV to make your participation easier, more meaningful, and entertaining. The researcher provided the audio and written documents so that you can choose the most appropriate ones for yourself based on your conditions. For example, limited internet, not being able to see well, so having these video, written documents, and audio will be helpful for your participation, and you can go with whichever is more effective for you. Who will conduct the research? We, meaning myself, Ahmet Tanha, will conduct the research as the main and key researcher who collaborates with different research institutions, for example, Adıyaman University, or the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, Monash University, Medipol University, Economic and Social Research Center, for example. What made us to reach out to you? You have been invited to participate because you are at the age of 18 or over it. You may have been invited by the researcher or a friend or seen an advert for this study on social media or in media, or in mainstream media. What would I be asked to do if I took part? If you agree to participate, you will be directed to an online questionnaire at this step, and each other section, you will be reminded if you want to check the documents about OPV. So at each step, you will be provided with more detailed on OPV in addition to these videos for each section. Once you read and agreed with the consent form, you will be asked to complete 3 sections. The first section, you will be asked to consider and write important facilitators, as many as you want, and yet to decide which one has been the most important one during COVID-19. Then you are asked to upload one photo that represents the most important facilitator. And following that, you are asked to write a caption story that explains the most important factor and the photo. The researcher suggests you to follow a short acronym that includes 6 meaningful questions for a more meaningful, comprehensive, and effective caption. You will be provided with the questions in the sections. In the second section, you are asked to do the same thing, this time for the most important barrier concerned during COVID-19. As the participant, you should not include yourself or other faces or a private property entirely in a way that can be recognized by others. If you include, the researchers will edit the photos when they analyze the data in a way so that the photos do not include people's faces and cannot be recognized by others. Finally, in the third section, you will answer some demographic questions like sex, marital status, profession. What is the duration of the research? The time required for this study changes quite based on the person and how much they want to take time to reflect on the process. In the past similar OPV studies, some participants took about 7 to 10 minutes while the others took more time. In average, it takes 10 minutes to complete it. Benefits of the research to the participant and society. There will be no financial reimbursement for participation. However, taking some time during this pandemic process and using the mindfully constructed short questions to reflect on what are the facilitators, supports, barriers, concerns in your life is more likely to add some meaningful process and moments. It is also possible to feel some unpleasant feelings, thoughts, or sensations due to the nature of the pandemic, and you take a reflect on these. However, based on our previous studies, the benefit seems to overweight the possible unpleasant moments for the individual participation. Additionally, the researcher will use the results as the main themes of the facilitators and barriers to advocate for enhancing facilitators and addressing barriers to enhance overall well-being for all. Where will the research be conducted? You can complete the questionnaire online. If you cannot participate online, you can use tanhanahmed3@gmail.com or use the email to ask any questions about the research. Will the outcome of the research be published? The researcher may publish the results in an academic journal and present at conferences. The researcher is not asking for your personal information and will not be included, and your personal information will not be included and the researcher will not include any personal information in any reports or presentations. If you are interested in the results, you will be able to provide your email and be part of this process. The researcher will share the results on the following web addresses: the researcher's ResearchGate account and the specifically found social media group for the OPV research results. So if you click on these links, you will be directed to those pages. Protection of data. The researcher will protect the data in a safe computer with safe password. Only the researcher will access the data fully. No names or addresses will be collected, and participants will be identified only by numbers. If you provide your email to be provided about the results, the researcher will remove the emails and names from the data, save in a protected file, and use only for informing you for the results. The research is completely anonymous and confidential. If you provide your email, your participation in the study will be kept confidential to the researcher. The researcher will use online interpretative phenomenological analysis, we call it OIPA, to analyze the data. For further information on OPV or OIPA participation procedure, analysis, and advocacy process, you can watch the video, listen to the audio, or read the written detailed documents. Again, if you click on these links, you are gonna be directed to these documents that talks about OPV methodology in general, not about this current research. What happens if I do not want to take part or if I change my mind? You are totally free to participate or not to participate. If you participate, you can withdraw at any time without giving a reason and without any detriment to yourself. You can let the researcher know within a week following your participation about your submitted photo and caption, and they will be removed. Or you can really get into touch with me anytime as long as we have not started the analysis process. And if we have started and if we are still able to recognize your voice, for example, if you send your story and you say, this is my story and I want this story to be removed, then we will strive to do so. 16:30. What if I want to make a complaint? Please first contact the researcher through tananame3@gmail.com or through my phone. So +1 724 888 3990. If you have any further questions, you can contact the ethics committee through the emails provided below or toward the end of the study. If you are happy to proceed, then please continue to the next section. For support services, this is a global research. This means anyone at the age of 18 or over from any countries can participate. Therefore, the researcher cannot provide all the support services or contact information for every country. Therefore, if you feel you need mental health support or need to talk to a mental health professional, you can do one of the followings in order reaching out to needed mental health services. So the first option is, please reach out to mental health resources you have already used. Another option, please reach out to available mental health resources in your neighborhood. Number 3, the other option, please reach out to emergency service numbers in your country. For example, 911 for the United States, 112 for Turkey, 101777 for Kenya, and 10177 for Kenya, 999 for Malaysia and UK, to give a few examples. And the last option can be one of your friends or relatives who knows you and understands you empathically, who can attend you when you want to talk about your experience. And the last option will be getting mental health services, reaching out to someone at the closest hospital or health settings wherever you live. We have Research Ethics Committee approval for this project, and you can see the details of the approval if you click on these words or toward the end of the study. If you agree with all these and are voluntarily want to participate, please click on the box that indicates your formal agreement and continue the next section so you can complete the other part of the research. You may find further information on OPV. Again, to remind you, if you are just interested in participating in this research, then this current video is more than enough. And at every section, you are gonna see some videos. But if you want to get to know OPV in general, as a participant or as a researcher or as a key person in charge of communities, institutions, then you can go to these links to get more detailed information, videos, written documents, audio about OPV. And again, all these documents are the same. You can use the most appropriate one for yourself. We provided the audio and written documents for people who enjoy or who prefer these options. And we especially provided the audio for people with limited internet and people who really love to hear rather than reading. Okay, again, my name is Ahmed. My last name is Tanhan. I have a Master of Science and a PhD in counseling and Master of Science in clinical mental health counseling from University of Rochester, New York, United States, and a PhD in counseling and counselor education from the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, United States. And we are currently collaborating with different researchers at different institutions across the globe for academic writing and research. To share a few, the University of North Carolina at Greensboro for academic writing, Economic and Social Research Center, Monash University, Adiman University, University of Nairobi, Institute for Muslim Mental Health, to name a few. And if you want to get in touch and get to know more about YouTube, you can watch online photo voice OPV YouTube video from my listen OPV audio document. Information, my email is tanha@gmail.com. My Google Scholar is here, my ResearchGate is here, my YouTube channel, and some other links for social media, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. Okay, now you can click on the arrow to move to the next section. I do really appreciate your time and your contribution and your voice. Your experience is very important for us to understand what's happening with us as human tribe to enhance the well-being and address and enhance the most important facilitators and address the most important barriers so we can increase the meaning of life and the well-being for all, starting with ourselves, our community, and other people around us, and gradually for all humanity. Thank you so much. I do really appreciate your time again. Stay with peace and keep in touch.